Sorry. I'll back up.
Jesus.
Ready?
No, I'm not ready. That was terrible.
Well,
my ears.
You say terrible, and I say effective.
I want to apologize to anybody listening to us that just swerved off the road and crashed because Darren decided to blow all the roof off.
Check it out. Check out my tone. Ready? You better hold that up. It's going to be loud.
That was awful, dude. Just awful.
Thank you.
No, not thank you. I'm not fist bumping that. That was terrible. Hi, friends. Welcome back to Riggle's Picks. I'm Rob Riggle.
I'm Darren Leader.
Oh, man.
You got me all riled up. I can't do it right. I don't even know what's happening right now. I'm thinking about my lips moving while I'm talking.
Are you trying to move them faster?
Yeah, but it's really tough because I keep thinking about the positions of my lips and the consonants.
Wow, you're in it. Is it? Can I ask you something?
What?
Is your level of enthusiasm and adrenaline right now based on your shirt?
Yep.
Okay.
I feel like I look sharp as hell.
Yep.
Does it look good?
Yeah. I like it.
You kind of had a question mark after the word yeah. Yeah?
Well, listen. Hey, I just got the text. We got a great guest for you today.
I know who it is.
Who? And you don't know.
Johnny Cash.
No, Johnny. Oh, I'm sorry. Rest in peace. Johnny Cash passed away.
I know who it is.
Who?
Frank Sinatra.
Again, you're just naming people that have passed away. He passed away as well.
No, it's just ironic that I just kind of coincidental that I named two people that are dead. Okay, I got one. I know who it is. I know who the guest.
Don't. They better be alive.
Yoda.
That is a fictional character. That is not a real person. You know who is a real person?
Joe Gatto.
Yeah, okay, you got that.
Yes, I knew it.
You got it.
I knew it.
You got it.
From Impractical Jokers.
That's right. Joe from Impractical Jokers is going to be joining us. I'm really excited about this. Joe is a great comedian, great guy, funny, laid back, and I have history with Joe.
Talk to me.
It all took place in New York, and I'll share it on the show. In the meantime, you know who else is a real person?
Who?
Gary.
Yeah.
You're looking at these going, wait a minute, those are just stickheads.
Right.
But
what'd you call them?
I said stickheads because his head is on a stick.
Oh.
Not dickhead.
It sounds like you said that because you said those are just dickheads.
Stickheads.
Right.
I want to be real clear.
Gotta be clear about the T.
These are stickheads
of Gary.
Of a dickhead. Nailed it.
Hey,
I'm out of here.
Come
I'm out of here.
on.
Tip your waitresses. Friends.
You've been doing club shows too long.
Gary is not with us today, but Claire is.
He's alive, though.
Oh, he's alive.
When you say he's not with us.
Sorry, he's alive. He just said he wasn't coming into work today. Again, I think it has something to do with you. I think he's mad at you, and he's being passive-aggressive about it.
I get that. I think it stems from a game of lawn darts that we had.
Okay.
And he seems to think. Mm-hmm. Now, this bothers me because there are certain rules in lawn darts that you have to abide by, otherwise people get hurt.
People die.
Right. Gary decided to take it upon himself to go to the far target while it was my turn. I'm not going to stop for anything because I'm a lawn darter.
He knew that.
He knows that.
He knows that.
It's very clear in our circles.
You don't stop for anything.
I don't stop. He thought I was trying to actually kill him in lawn darts, and that's the vibe I'm getting. He didn't say it directly.
I'm surprised, one, you were playing yard darts
mm-hmm.
because everybody knows that's a deadly, deadly game.
I live dangerously.
And it's a bad idea. No one does it anymore. You might be the only people who still do it.
Well, then that's the life we live. That's a choice we make.
You're very matter-of-fact about this. You're very
I don't want to
cavalier. You're very cavalier about this.
I guess it bums me out because I hear this from my mom. Oh, don't play lawn darts. It's dangerous. I hear from my dad. Don't play lawn. It's like, dude, I love you, man, but I don't really need you to tell me what games to play. And if I want to play lawn darts, I'd like to be able to do that without getting guff.
All right, look, I'm not here to give guff. I don't like guff either. But I think there's just good choices and bad choices, and I think you consistently make bad choices.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with that statement, but leave lawn darts alone.
Okay,
please.
All right. But you threw a lawn dart at Gary, and you think that's why he's mad at you and why he doesn't come into work anymore.
I did throw a lawn dart at the target. Gary was in the way.
Okay. You should have waited. Claire, thank you for filling in today. And I hope has Darren ever thrown a lawn dart at you?
That's actually hit me? No.
Right. Thank you, Claire.
No problem. Nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you, Claire.
But hold on a second. That actually,
yes! I feel so empowered.
That
in
means
this shirt.
that indicates that he's thrown one.
You know what? Now I know. I think I know now how Pamela Anderson felt when she wore the red bikini on Baywatch. She just strutted her stuff, confident and just empowered.
What about what I got? I got on the Kansas Comet. Gale Sayers, number 48. One of the sweetest running backs in the history of the game. The Kansas Comet, number 48, Gale Sayers.
That's a cool shirt. People are going to love that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I know how it feels to be Pamela Anderson.
I don't think blue is your color.
What? Hold on. Claire, what was that? You said that.
She didn't say anything.
Did she say that this wasn't Pam's color or my color? Claire?
Yeah, exactly. I think.
Now she's gone radio silent on me.
Hey, dude, she's just speaking truth.
Okay, she's not speaking truth.
She's speaking a little.
She's speaking opinion, one person's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the Kansas Comet.
Gale Sayers.
I'm representing.
Right.
Okay,
I get
That's
it.
what I'm doing.
Yeah. Did you get that?
You're not representing anything.
You know what I'm representing? Female empowerment. I am Pam Anderson.
Amen.
Oh God, Claire, please don't support that.
You know, I think if more dudes started to like embrace that part of their psyche, the world would be a more chill place.
What, their feminine energy, their estrogen?
Yeah. I think you can wear a pink and purple shirt like this and still come off, you know, really cool.
It's, you know, masculine, feminine has nothing to do with the shirt. It is the color combination all slammed together in a hectic frenzy that actually makes me feel
woozy?
Yes, like I have a natural buzz just looking at your shirt. Not like a happy buzz, like I've had too much to drink, I might vomit.
Like nausea?
Yeah. Anyway, let's not make it about our clothes, okay?
Okay.
It's about what's underneath the clothes.
Right.
Which
is my tanned body on the beach saving lives.
First of all, I never see you on the beach, and I'm there all the time.
But you're at the Muscle Beach.
I'm at the Muscle Beach.
I'm out there in the real stuff, saving little chubby kids from shark attacks.
I don't even know if that's a thing. First of all, I don't know if that's true. You're the only one who's seen this or witnessed this or claimed to have saved anybody.
You've seen me do it week in and week out on my TV show.
I see you swim up to people.
With a shark fin on my back?
I don't know. Do you have a shark fin on your back?
Sometimes.
See, I see you swim up to people and scream shark and watch them panic and then offer to help them.
Well, it's so what I do is I have a swim shark fin. It's Velcroed around, 2 straps here, and I get under and I have a little snorkel, so I can just keep doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
And sometimes I go, here's the water, and I go, shark, and like that, and they freak out.
Yeah, they freak out.
Well, I quickly take off the fin. I'm now the lifeguard.
You're one of those Munchausen by proxy. You create the drama and then come in to be the hero.
But at the end of the day, who saves the life?
A life that didn't need to be saved. Darren, I'm going to get you some psychiatric help. That's what you need.
Okay, well, until then, let's just agree to disagree.
I guess we're going to have to. More importantly than your hijinks at the ocean,
okay,
we have a guest. We got Gatto! And that sounds like a disease.
I'm suffering from Gatto. Yeah,
I've
totally.
got Gatto.
Oh, my God. Here he comes.
Let's see if he comes
Here
on.
He comes.
Oh, boy.
Here
Once in a lifetime. One bright moment. You can forget who you are for one bright. There he is! Joe, look at him. He's fine. Look how good he looks. Tan, healthy.
Why do you look so tan, Joe?
What?
I just got back. I just got back from Australia and Turks and Caicos, working in a family trip. So I got all bronzed up.
Oh, Oh, you did it right because you went down to the Southern Hemisphere. It's summertime down there.
You look like
Summertime.
a golden Adonis right now.
You do.
You know what's that olive oil skin, and you got to work with what you got because it all stops right here. That's where it ends. All the goodness.
She just have
right
a turtleneck.
Here. You know what? I'm being generous. If we're going to be honest, guys, it stops about here.
You should get one of those green screens and have a turtleneck that goes up to here. So it's really just a floating head,
Oh,
a floating bronze head.
that's tight.
That'd be super.
If I
You
could
should do that
if
for
I could
you.
be my blue eyes and just walk around as like two eyeballs, I think it would
Yeah.
work. I would be like the guy from Toy Story. I'm like
Just the eyeballs.
I'm a Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
all right, this is good. This is good. We're out of the gates hot. Tell me about Australia. Tell me about Turks and Caicos. Well, no,
great.
was Turks and Caicos the family thing? You don't have to tell me about that. But
You
tell me
don't
about.
you don't give a shit about my
No, it's
family
not that. I just don't.
background.
I don't want to invade your privacy. I don't want to invade your private life. But share whatever you want to share. Share whatever you want to share.
It's a safe space. I appreciate it, Rob.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it was great. I mean, I got to do. So I've been touring with my my comedy show, Joe Gatto's Night of Comedy, and it's been great to be doing stand up over the past 2 years. I'm actually filming my special coming up in a couple weeks, which would
Oh
be
my
great.
gosh,
And,
that's so good.
yeah, so it's so fun. It's been a really fun format to play in because I've never done stand up solo. I'd always perform with the guys, the jokers. In our live show, which has always been like an ensemble. So it was different to be up there by yourself and come up with all the material and be responsible for the full 60 minutes by yourself.
60 seconds a night in Australia.
It's a great show.
It's a high
It actually-
impact minute.
you work out with the conversion and the time change. It's actually a 3-hour show.
So how many cities did you do in Australia?
Yeah.
I did 5 over there. I did Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and Perth, and then I hopped over to Auckland, New Zealand, and did a night in New Zealand. which
Okay,
was
no
really fun.
Adelaide. You didn't do Adelaide.
I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get political.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm so sorry about that. My partner here every
I-
now and then forgets himself.
I didn't realize
Sorry
there was
about that,
such heat
Joe.
on Adelaide.
I sent over some bullet
You
points
did.
of things
You
I
sent-
wanted to discuss.
Yes.
Gotcha.
we-
No.
Very specific. It
We're
was
not
so,
discussing the southernmost city.
It was
Yeah.
so specific.
I get it.
There was one thing he said.
I'm
one
sorry, Joe.
thing.
God damn it.
So Joe comes up. Joe has an improv background and stuff, so he knows the whole ensemble world. So I do know what you're talking about. When all of a sudden you go from ensemble to it's you, a microphone, and an audience,
Yes,
and
sure.
that's it. And you gotta carry that water all night long.
What do you
Yeah,
prefer? What do you prefer?
I will say I'm enjoying this new format. I think partially because it's new too. But there is definitely something to it all being on you, which presented a challenge. Like I wasn't scared to perform live by myself because I've been performing live forever. And I mean,
Yeah.
I've been doing it, for a long time. So performing live was not a thing, but doing it by yourself was like a new thing. So I'm that kind of person, and I think we all can relate to that, being creative types. When it is a new thing that you're trying, there's an excitement around that, and
Sure.
I think that was a really, really cool thing. Yeah, so I would say right now I prefer stand up as this, but I'm welcoming all the formats that are coming my way now, all the new ways to entertain. As long as I'm doing that entertainment, making people laugh thing, I think that's really what's the most important driver.
Completely.
love
Did
that.
your family get to join you in Australia?
Yeah, not in Australia. The kids were in school, so that's why Turks is the week after. So we actually went to there, but it was really fun to take them on the road with me. My kids are 8 and 6, so they're right in that like it's cool that dad's on stage and make people laugh thing. So I took them after I toured, up northeast to Connecticut, Rhode Island, stuff after the week after Christmas. So I had them with me, just me and the kids, which is really, really fun
Oh,
to have
that's
them
special.
with me. And yeah, it was so cool. It was really some core memory making, not only for them, but for me as well, of being like,
oh
it's
yeah,
really cool.
and the pictures
That's
you'll have from that, and they'll remember
Yeah.
that their whole life. And you're right, it'd be incredibly special. That's really cool. That's
Yeah, that
fun.
was real fun.
So a
It
little
was real fun.
trivia for the millions of listeners we have. They're gonna love to hear this, but. When Joe and I started out kind of at the same time, and Joe, you were living out in Brooklyn, I think, or Queens, I forget.
I was in Staten Island, yeah.
You were in Staten Island? No, because we drove across the bridge to Brooklyn at one of your apartment.
To Murray's apartment. Yeah,
Was that
over
Murray's
there.
apartment?
Yeah, that we were doing some editing out of. Yeah, I borrowed it out of Murray's apartment.
So Joe had a skill that none of us had. None of
that?
us. He could build websites.
Really?
Yes.
How
Joe
did you
could
learn
build,
how to do that?
because Joe's
early?
smart. Joe's smart, and the rest of us are dumb.
Yeah.
And Joe is cutting
He's
edge.
like, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. And so, like, everybody at the UCB theater, everybody on the comedy scene in New York during that time frame, it was basically like, you got to call Joe Gatto. You got to call
Yeah.
Joe.
Wow.
And I was like, because Hubel turned me on to you.
Yes.
You know, and so he was like, I did with Joe. Price right. He does a great job. I was like, fuck. So I called him, hey man, I'm so sorry to bother you. You know, can you build him? He's like, fuck. Yeah, I'll help you. It was awesome.
Wow.
I
So
was a little more excited about that.
Yeah,
because
no,
I
you were
had
nice.
seen
You were nice.
guys.
I'm playing it up. But you were very nice.
I had seen you guys at UCB. I was fans of you guys. Like that was kind of my into it. Like that's where I was learning a lot about improv, and we were doing our own improv thing. The Tenderloins, me and the guys, and we had been performing at our own theater, the Producers Club, and we'd been putting up our own shows, and we used to come and watch everything there. You know, we used to go see the Armando shows, you know, with them and everybody, and then
Ask Cat on Sundays, probably.
Ask Cat, which is great. And then I had started doing this thing where I was building websites and shooting reels for people and doing video editing to chop up just scenes to showcase people's talent. And RobRiggle.com was one of my projects that was on my resume for quite some time.
That's right.
that is amazing.
Isn't that awesome?
So you were the smart guy. Well, and let me rephrase, the smartest guy.
Of all the comedians in New York at that time.
And everybody's like, oh my God, we got to call Joe. You're going to get on the internet.
Yeah.
That's
well,
so
because
cool.
when you used to go to auditions, you know, you'd have to take your resume, your headshot,
Right,
and
physical.
You have to take physical, and of course everybody's burning through them, they're throwing them away.
Sure.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, they got expensive, whatever. So when Joe learned how to do websites, it was a revelation because then you could just print a business card with the
address,
with the website on the back, and then there was your headshot, your resume, your reel.
They couldn't throw it away.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this: what made you want to learn how to do that? What did you just see a need?
No, I saw the need after I had the skill set because after I graduated college with an accounting degree.
Oh wow!
So I knew I wasn't going to use that.
Smart.
And I got into actually consulting, and I fell into user interface design for companies and building websites and learning that kind of skill set. So I took that with me for 5 years. I worked for one of the biggest consulting firms in New York called Accenture. And I worked with them, and then I was like, I don't want to do this in my life. And they offered this thing called Flex. It was after 9/11. They offered this thing called Flex Leave because they didn't have the jobs because in New York after the market was all crazy, but they knew it would come back. So they said, okay, we'll pay you 40% of your salary, and you can take 6 months up to a year off, and you can keep your benefits. And I was living in my mom's basement instead, and I was like, I'll do that. And and that's when I fell in love with entertainment. I made my first short film. I started doing all this networking inside the comedy community. I was doing a lot of seeing comedy in New York, and I had this skill set. And then I forgot who the first one I did it for somebody. I was helping somebody out, and then it just started traveling. Word started traveling inside UCB.
Well, because you did a good job. You did a really good job. Like I loved Hubel's page. And then I was like, shoot, I mean, I love this. So and you did a great job on mine. So your reputation grew really fast. Everyone in the UCB, I think, was probably trying to reach out to you at some point.
Do you remember how much you paid?
I don't.
Do you remember how much you charged?
$500.
$500 all in.
All in. Shot a tape. Took all the photos and uploaded them, and I did some touching of the tapes, and then did the whole website for $500 all in.
Yeah.
You still charge that?
Yeah.
Well, back in the day,
with
too.
inflation.
Joe knew his audience, too, which was a bunch of starving artists. You know? And
Yeah.
so it's probably his price point was right on target.
I mean,
think.
you get back in that day, if you get 2 clients a week, you're making $1,000 a week.
Yeah. And when I think about it, too.
I would also deliver it like $500.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, I could do 4. All right, we'll do it for 4.
That's cool. That's amazing.
Yeah, and that would have been like 21 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
dude,
time
21 years
flies.
Yeah,
Good
I
Lord,
remember.
Ronnie.
Riggle, do you remember the first time we saw each other after that? Was at like after your career blew up and you were doing your thing. I ran into you at a Comic-Con in 2000 something, and you walked by me and you kind of looked at me like, I know this guy. We're like, new job, and I went, and you went, hey, and I went, hey, I said, I built your website, and you went, yeah, you did.
Yes.
And
Oh
we were
my
at
God.
Comic-Con and we were talking about it there. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because it hadn't been a while since I had seen you.
Well, and I remember too, I was at a golf tournament. I think it was Derek Jeter's golf tournament in Vegas, and these guys were up on stage. And I remember I was talking to someone, and I looked up on stage, and it was Joe and the Impractical Jokers. I was like, how did they get these guys? What are these guys doing here?
Amazing.
And I couldn't get to him. The security was too tight.
He's a rock star.
I couldn't get to him. The security was tight.
I asked specifically for them to keep Rob away from me. I was kind of like, I can't. I
Totally
can't do his
understandable.
website. I can't do any updates right now. I don't have the time to update his website.
I'm not maintaining that site anymore. It's done, Rob.
It was a one-time deal, Riggle, you piece of shit. It's all right. I get it. I totally get it. So tell me about the tour. Are you're back in the States now?
Yes, I'm actually touring this weekend. I'm calling you from Paducah, Kentucky. I'm in Kentucky this weekend.
Paducah?
Yes, I'm in Paducah.
I love
yeah.
Paducah.
Have you been?
The
I've been to Paducah.
I've never been to
quilting
Paducah.
capital of the world, man. It's an arts and craftsy town. It's really fun. It's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I drove through Paducah on my way from Kansas City to Quantico, Virginia.
Wow.
And back. I
Oh,
stopped.
wow.
They had a nice, it's right off the highway there, but they had a nice stretch of Denny's,
Yeah.
IHOPs, and hotels.
I
right
love
there.
Waffle House.
Oh, good
Come
stuff.
on.
Got the whole, all the hits, all the bangers.
Yeah, the
But, yeah.
trio of awesomeness.
So are you doing a Midwest tour or a Southern tour? What you doing?
This is my last month of this tour, and then I wrap it up with the special. I actually shoot the special next week in out on Long Island because I'm from
I was about to
the
say, it's gotta
Paramount
be-
Theater.
I hope
the
you do it
Paramount
close to
Theater on
home.
Long Island.
Yeah.
Yes,
where will,
of course.
Where
So
will
that's
people
it.
be able to see the? Where can people see the special?
Yeah.
We're shooting it, and then we'll figure that part out. Yeah, I'm just
Gotcha.
shooting it because it's more of like a posterity thing too. Because like working on something for 2 years of your life, you don't want just to go away. And I had the means to understand how to shoot it pretty cheap
Right.
and take care of it. So like it's it's only cost me $500.
Everything's $500.
I love Joe's World. Joe's World is everything's 500.
Yeah, how much do you charge for performance? $500.
500 will do.
How much is this plane ticket worth to you? $500. Okay. I'll
I
pay
mean,
that.
doing business with Joe is the easiest. It's so
and he's an
easy.
accountant. He's like, I don't want to think about numbers anymore
Yeah.
for the rest of my life. It's all
One line
$500.
item.
Oh,
One line times how many things? How many things we talking about? Times it by 500.
I love it. I love it.
That's exciting, and I do appreciate that because I know what it's like to build a set, tour it around, and by the time it takes a year. Well, Louis C.K. does it in like, I don't know, a month or two. But for the rest of us, it takes time. It takes like 6 months to a year to build a 45-minute set, right? And then once you build it, you tour it.
Right.
And that's usually a year or two. And then you got to come up with a new set. But that's another beast where you're like, oh, for the love of God. So you got to build another beast of a set. But you want to record that set. You want to capture that set that you've mastered after a couple years of touring. Now you've got all the fine points down, and it's fun. But you can't go back to the clubs that you've been to with the same set. So it's like once you do that wide spread, then because I think that's one of the reasons I stopped doing stand up was because I had gone everywhere and people were like, "Hey, come on back," and I was like, "I can't.
I don't have any more jokes.
I don't
talk
have
about.
Yeah, I don't have a new set," and so I stopped. But I know the grind. I know it. I know it very well.
sure.
So I'm glad you're capturing it though.
I have a question for you guys with regards to doing live sets and comedy and always having to come up with new material and things like that. As a songwriter, I think some songwriters get into habits and progressions and melodies they hear in their head regularly, like you have a toolbox of things that you tend to go to as in music. In comedy, when you're writing or thinking of jokes or concepts or ideas, do you think that each of you has your own little set of toolbox, like you got toolbox with kind of similar themes, but you have to force yourself to switch off of that? Or is it just like every time you try to think of jokes, you open the box, you go, oh, there's just some new stuff. Do you understand what I'm
I'll
saying?
let Joe answer that
Yeah.
first.
I found that harder on Jokers, actually. So on Impractical Jokers, we filmed my time. I did a decade there, right? I did over 300 episodes, right?
My God.
And so with that, but inside each one, if you look at it, there was like 4 to 5 challenge inside each episode. So you know how many jokes that is that you're like trying to come up with. So
Yeah.
I would literally, like, before you're saying something, I was actually involved very heavily in the editing too. Like I jumped in, I quit my job to do Jokers. I was the only one. So I was all in. Everybody else was able to maintain their jobs. Q was a fireman still.
Yeah.
Sal owned a bar and was still doing his bar thing. Murr
Wow.
worked for the production company that was producing the show. So they were, and me, I was working for a baby company at that time. I was a baby store salesman selling high-end furniture and gear, baby gear out in New York. So I had to, I told my boss, I need a 6-month hiatus to do this TV show real quick. And she was like, so you quit? I'm like, I guess so. So I was all in, but it opened me up to actually learn about the whole thing. And I was like, I always loved like directing and production.
Yeah.
So I jumped in. I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I learned it from soup to nuts. So I really had like an encyclopedic knowledge of if we did that joke.
Yes.
If we did something like that. So every time I came up with something, I was like, wait, did we do that already? I'm like, no, you can't do that. We already did this. Oh, no. And it was weird because like you just try to always reinvent it. So that's when the improv really came in handy. Because we had a joke that we wrote that wasn't working and we need to come up with something. It was like, all right, what's funny here? What can we do here? Kind of thing.
Well,
so I found it really challenging there.
I could always see you and the guys, your improv skills were always on display on that show because you had to. You had to be in the moment, reacting and acting and going on what you're given and, responding to what you hear. So I knew you guys had the skill set. That was definitely an improv skill set for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
That was probably one of the most entertaining shows and still is, but I remember the time when you were on the show, my kids and I, it was mandatory. It was must-see TV. Like we watched it. I laughed until I cried on so many occasions. One of my favorite, you guys were down in Miami, I think, and it was the jazzy that you couldn't
control. Voice controlled.
And the voice controlled. I mean, I still, just thinking about it makes me smile and makes me laugh because they were on a jazzy and the others had control of it. So they had to sit on it while the others drove them into people, the other stuff. And then they said, at one point they go, make it so it's voice commanded. So it'd be turn left. And the thing would turn right into people. I just still think about it. It brings me nothing but joy. Like that was a magical, were you, I'm sure you were honored and happy to be part of something as iconic as that show.
Yeah. Well, for sure, man. It's my legacy.
You guys created it. Tell us how you created it. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So we basically, we had started an improv comedy troupe and then always tried different formats. We moved quickly to sketch and online comedy. We had gotten pretty popular in the MySpaces and YouTubes of the world. Then we won a failed pilot called It's Your Show. So, and when everything was happening online and everybody was like, TV's where it's at, they were trying to figure out how to put comedy from the internet on television. And there was a show that was for Fox called It's Your Show. And it was basically, imagine like a America's Funniest Home Videos for sketch comedians. They would give you a topic and you would have to make a sketch about it. And they would just display all these things and America would vote, which was the funniest sketch kind of deal, Right. So they were giving out $1,000 a challenge if you won. And we had built up a hell of a resume of like a mailing list and whatnot. So we would post these videos as part of this challenge and we'd win every week. We'd won like $1,000 a week, and it was like, and we had like this 11-week streak. And finally they got picked up for a pilot hosted by Carson Daly for Fox. That was like, okay, so we're going to do this pilot and we're inviting you to be part of it. So we sent in our tape called Meet the Tenderloins because our name was the Tenderloins. Yeah. And it was just our real life. It was me as a baby store salesman. It was Q as a fireman, Sal as a bartender, Murr as a temp because he always had different jobs, and it was just like this whole thing. We submit to that. We win the $100,000 grand prize, but the pilot doesn't get picked up. So it's a failed pilot that they have to pay us the money anyway. So we get paid this money for no reason.
Fantastic.
So nobody sees us. So that road comes to an end. But the production company that was producing it was like, these guys are funny. These guys have their own show. So they tried to do a sketch comedy show with us for Spike. We sold it for Spike. We did a sketch comedy show. It didn't take because we were kind of like acting these weird versions of ourselves. Then we came up with a different format for Fox. It didn't come out. And then we were like, okay, what is our format? Our format is making each other laugh with this embarrassment comedy. This is always how I made these guys laugh. And it was like, let's just put a camera on. So we took our cell phones and we went and did our sizzle reel, our sizzle tape that we edited. And it was one of the challenges was we went to Tyler Perry Presents in Times Square. It was a movie he had out. I had to announce to this packed theater that I had just farted. And I just caused the hugest scene. The place erupted in laughter, got on my side. They were applauding me. And it just fed me. And I just was talking about, I had some bad Mexican and I went down the middle, like I was climbing down the seats in the middle instead of taking the aisle, like making a rush thing. And it was unbelievable. And we just did these silly, stupid things and we edited it together and then we took it out. And we went to True. They wanted to buy it in the room. We went to MTV. They wanted to buy it, but they wanted to make it a strip show to recast it with different people. Right. And do it 5 days a week, so it would have been a bigger payday. But we were like, no, we want to do it. And True TV, to their credit, was like, hey, we'll make you the face of this network. But at the time, we were airing between two tow truck shows. We ended afterwards Lizard Lick Towing and then South Beach Tow. And then Practical Jokers was in the middle. It was like these two reality tow truck shows. But it took.
Well, you hit a nerve. You hit a nerve with America. You hit a nerve. You struck a chord, whatever you want to call it, because it just did. It took off like a wildfire. And it's because it's undeniable. Like when something's good, when something is funny, There's no denying it. The cream is going to rise.
It's funny. I watching people get made fun of. Yeah. Sometimes, like I feel bad.
The cringe.
I feel bad for them, and
But it's those guys. The
no,
people
I get it, and they're friends, and they're doing it to each other. There's a part of me that goes, "Oh my God, bro!" It affects me. Like it affects people. It makes people happy and laugh, and then makes some people go, "Oh man,
it's cringe. It's cringe.
It's so gnarly sometimes."
Well, I remember two of my favorites were you greased up Murr. And made him go in front of his childhood, crush.
Yeah, one of the best switches ever. One of the best.
Oh, and he
ever,
thought he was getting it. He thought he was going into a
bodybuilding competition.
Bodybuilding where he had to flex off, and he's not a muscle man, so he thought he was going to. Okay, you're going to embarrass me by doing. But then he's in a Speedo and he's all oiled up, and he walks in. He's shaved his body, and he walks in, and it's Wendy from the Wonder Years, his childhood crush. And she's sitting there, and he's like, "I've got to interview her now in this."
Oh my God!
It was.
Oh my God!
It was the best thing I ever saw.
Did you watch it like this?
Yeah, I was mortified, and I loved it though. At the same time, what's wrong with me? And then, they made Q get up one time and have to give a speech or do a play in front of all his fellow firefighters. And I just thought, like, oh my God, if I had to do something like this in front of my Marines, or
Marines,
it would
right?
be the worst. It would be and you could see, like, for Q, not having fun. Like, this was not cool. This was not cool. But that's what made it so unbelievably special.
Were there times where it got so bad, like when the camera shut off, there was anger?
No, I mean, because at the end of the day, we were friends too. There were ideas that we were like, could we do this? And I would actually have to fight for them not to do it to my friend. Like Murray and Sal would come up with something for Q. I'm like, you guys, you can't do that to him.
Right.
But no, it's for the show. I'm like, we're friends. Like you can't, like you have to talk, because you would get this weird mindset.
Yeah.
But then you also got like afraid of like talking about anything in front of your friends. Like I remember one time Sal was like, "Oh, I hate that," and he said something. I was like, "Beep," and I just put it in the pocket. And then about a year and a half later, what happened? That thing he said he hated. It was just this weird thing. So we wouldn't talk to each other about any dislikes.
You don't want to divulge any secrets.
We loved everything. I love snakes, man. They're my favorite animal.
What a total false friendship. Yeah. Man, I love everything.
Well, you know what was a precedent-setting thing was the tattoos of Jaden Smith on the hip, Sal's hip. That was one of the punishments. Was he has a tattoo now, a lifetime tattoo of Jaden Smith on his hip.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
gnarly. And then Murr jumping out of a plane, because that was a real phobia, I think, for him. Jumping out of a plane. That was, you see real terror.
That's tough. That's tough. But you know what? You guys had balls, or you currently still do.
Yeah.
It's ballsy and courageous and entertaining, all in the same thing, and it's amazing.
I still I could go on. I could go on for hours about this. I seriously could, because I absolutely love it. But like they made, I think the worst thing, they went down to Wall Street and they made these guys go up and take cigarettes out of people's mouths, or maybe
Murr's
just
punishment.
Yeah,
Murr's punishment.
Yeah, he had to take cigarettes out and throw it down and be like, "You're killing yourself," or whatever. And people, smoke break is you're like, are you kidding? Like I was like,
and money.
He's going to get his ass kicked. He's going to get a beat down. And then in the gym, they made Murr go up to people. You guys really got Murr. They made Murr go up to all these, weightlifting buff, kind of testosterone out.
Right.
And they'd be like, call them names, make fun of the way they were lifting.
That was me.
Clothes.
That was me.
That was you?
They made me eat a sandwich staring at guys running on the treadmill. So I was eating a hoagie sandwich. I wasn't allowed to say anything. I just had to watch them. And I was literally in front of the treadmill just eating a sandwich. And they're like, "You good, dude?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a good sandwich."
They wanted to kick your ass, right? That's terrifying.
That's a good. Had there ever been fisticuffs between?
No, because if we did that, it'd be wrong. It wouldn't be our show. Our show wasn't to get people mad. It was to get mad at your friends. So, but of course, there's sometimes that New Yorkers, that people weren't in the mood for it. So sometimes you did get one or the others, but it never really came to that. There had been times where we were doing something and people were getting mad, and then we would stop shooting. We'd like, hold on, we got to figure this out. This is not, the creative's off. So we would
Right.
just huddle up for like 15 minutes, recalibrate, and be like, all right, let's try this, and then it would work.
I could see how some of those things, like you say, smoke break valuable or whatever it is. Somebody going, "Oh fuck you."
Well, especially New Yorkers.
Yeah.
New Yorkers don't have time. They just don't have time. They don't have time for hijinks.
Yeah.
But when they figure out they're in the hijinks, I think they love it.
They got all the time in the world.
Yeah. Exactly.
For sure.
So you're going to wind up your tour, then you're going to go shoot the special.
Yep.
And then you got some, you can share what you want, but you got some other projects out there, other television?
Yeah,
film?
I'm working on some, I always grew up wanting to be a movie director. That's why I got into entertainment film. So I'm working on pretty aggressively on the script and stuff there. So I'm hoping something pans out with that, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I just released my kids book. I did a kids book.
Oh, fantastic. What's the name of it?
Yeah, it's called Where's Barry?
Where's Barry? Okay.
It comes out September 3rd. It's available for pre-order now, but it was a story based on my son had lost one of his stuffies one night, and we went looking for it. And it's about the adventure that he went on to find his bear.
What a great premise. And it's one that every parent knows.
Yeah.
100%. And it teaches a little bit of coping for the kid too, to calm them down, which is nice. So a little bit with the kid anxiety angle to help a little bit with that. So it's a fun story. It got illustrated by a great guy, Luke Flowers, who I met they through the publishing group, and he's a fan of the show, so he really put like a lot of Easter eggs in the first version of it was like really cool to see like the stuff he did. Like there's a picture of me dressed as the genie like on the nightstand. It's like really funny stuff. Like he did a great job, so it's fun. I'm excited about that, which is great. So I got that going on. And then just I'm working pretty hard with my charity too. I started Gatto Pups and Friends, which is a dog rescue out here out in Long Island.
Yeah.
Which is mostly senior and unwanted dogs. We launched it as a full nonprofit last year. And I think we just adopted out our 79th and 80th dog together, which is great.
So your
Barada and Target.
Your passion for dogs comes from childhood, comes from
after, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the need. Yeah. We bought our first dog, Cannoli, and about 10 years ago when we got Cannoli, she got some like health issues, and I was like 4,000 in the hole, like in the first year. And we would it really opened my wife's eyes to puppy mills and all that. We educated ourselves, learned about shelter dogs. Then we rescued our first dog, Biscotti. And she, it just warmed your heart instantly. Like you could see the difference you made in this dog's life. And I was like, wow. And then my wife really likes old, decrepit dogs. Like the worse they look, the better for her, which I guess is good news for me because I'm falling apart. So she would see these dogs, and we just started adopting these dogs. And then during COVID, and then during our separation, she was she started getting a lot of dogs. And then we were talking, and we're we could probably do this better. Let's launch our own nonprofit. Why not? Nothing's stopping us to really get into it. And we launched our own, and we put it out on Long Island in our neighborhood because I live out in Glen Head, Long Island. And it's, I love my community there, and I wanted to be part of it in a bigger way. So we got a storefront, which is cool. The animal sanctuaries run out of my home, and we have volunteers and everything. It's a full blown thing now, which is really, really fun.
That's fantastic. I love that. I love that because it's action, not words.
That makes me happy.
Yeah.
That is so fucking cool.
I noticed a theme. I noticed a theme with your naming of the dogs.
Yeah.
You're on point.
Yeah.
I'm on brand, Rob. I can't be naming them after exercise routines. That doesn't make sense. If I had dogs push-ups, sit-ups, treadmill, it doesn't work. All my dogs are Italian pastries and desserts.
I was gonna wait for Peroni.
Yeah, Peroni was next.
Yeah. I got a bunch of pastas too. I got linguine, ravioli, a brother and sister fettuccine Alfredo,
alla vodka. So you, I like what I hear, and what I see is, so I read the book. I read Teddy Roosevelt's, The Rise of Teddy Roosevelt, and what I took away from it was he was the hardest working man on earth, and that's why he was very successful. You sound a lot like Teddy Roosevelt. You sound a lot like a guy who is in constant motion.
I was going to ask because all the things that you have done, all the things you're working on, how does that balance with home? How do you do that?
Well, yeah, they call me the Teddy Roosevelt of comedy. I'm glad that you brought it up. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you've heard that.
That was a segue. That's how I was trying to get into it. I was trying to segue it into it.
I like how you did it subtly. Yeah. And he's just like, no, they call me. Yeah. They actually do.
Yeah. I was trying to tee him up.
T-shirt on. I had that one. I've learned a lot about balance in the past couple of years, going through everything that I went through, and I think really for me, the balance doesn't, and I think the realization for me was that balance really doesn't exist. It's really that you just have to pay attention to the right things for the time you're paying attention to them, and like totally pay attention to them. So like when I'm with my family, like I'm with my family. When I'm
Right.
with my kids, I'm with my kids. My kids ask me to play, I stop what I'm doing and I play. Because I saw this quote about like before you know it, your kids aren't going to want to play with you anymore. And
Yeah.
it just clicked with me,
It
right?
hurts.
So like whenever I know when my son says, "Oh, Dad, could you play with me?" Sure. Whatever I'm doing is not as important
Yeah.
as playing with
Yes.
my son, right?
No,
So we do like try to do that kind of thing. So I think for me, the balance was just to really like, even though you have all these things that you're trying to do, just make sure that you're paying attention and spending real time and energy in the moment. So for me, it's balance in the moment.
you're committing to whatever you're into at that moment.
100%. So family
And
time is family time.
I've heard those quotes too, and it's unbelievably wise. It's sage advice and wise words, and it should be. But it's hard to do sometimes. It's hard. You got to be intentional. You have to be intentional about it. And I'm the same way. I used to play, catch baseball with my boy. Anytime he wanted to, we'd go. We just drop whatever we were doing and go do it. Then he stopped playing baseball. And I got sad because I was like, I really loved playing catch with him because we'd have conversations, we'd joke, it's amazing what comes through in that. Now he's playing lacrosse. I don't know how to throw lacrosse. I got a stick and I'm out there practicing against the wall, trying to get better at it just so I could play with him. And it works because now he wants to play catch with the, lacrosse sticks or whatever. So I'm having to learn that, but I got it back. And what I'm saying is I got the time back with him, and it's invaluable.
That's great.
Yeah, it's invaluable.
My son is like I grew up. I was geeky. Like I grew up. I was on the math team. I was a mathlete. I played chess. And my son started playing. He's 6. He started playing chess at like 4, and he's like, "Dad, can we play chess?" And I was like, "Yeah." Well, he had read, he had like seen something about it, or they had it in his kindergarten class, whatever.
Yeah.
And so we sat down and we just started like just showing him the moves or whatever. And now like we like kind of like play chess together, and you sit there and you talk, and it's just like anything that you could like spend time doing together, especially if it's something that you used to do. Like there's a nostalgic thing as a dad. You're like, this is all like my daughter plays video games. I'm like, this is awesome. Like it's like that kind of thing. So being able to relate with it on 2 levels, I think is cool too.
That's fantastic. I love to hear that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's in the immediate future? You got a show tonight? Is it tonight?
Tonight, tomorrow, and the next day. I'm in Kentucky's and Indiana, and then I go shoot the special next weekend, and then I'm playing Jersey, and you get to the rest of the month. I'm all over California and stuff. I finish this month out, and then starting in April, I'm really just figuring out the next steps and see what the world holds.
Well, hopefully
I got some charity events I got to go do. I got some charity things I'm doing.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
So,
you come to Big Slick, right?
Yes, I am.
Yes, he's doing it.
Coming to Big Slick,
oh, I'm
for
so
sure.
glad you're doing that, man. We've wanted you for so long, so I'm really, really glad you're going to be there. I promise you'll have a good time. Kansas City's going to eat you up, man. Going to eat you up. They're going to love you.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thank you for hanging out with us. I know you got to rest and get ready. You've been traveling all day, and so thank you for taking time out to join us, man.
Always for you guys. Thank you so much, Rob. It's so great. Thanks for the invite. This has been really fun.
Good to see you, and I'll be talking to you soon. And
about a website? About a website. I got you.
Yeah, $500.
Is that cool? Is that cool? 500, right? 500 still?
500. You got it.
You're the man, Joe.
In, buddy. You're grandfathered in.
You're the man, brother. All right, take care.
See you, Joe.
Thank you.
See you,
Thank
Joe.
you, guys. Bye.
I love that guy. He's so funny.
He's gone now. You don't have to say that.
He's so nice.
Dude.
He's so nice.
Permanent smile.
And you can't help but put on a smile.
I know.
When you're talking to someone with that kind of good energy and putting it back in the world like he is with his charities and with his willingness to help others. And I don't know. He's got a good vibe.
He's got a good vibe. I'll say it again. Watching some of the episodes of his show is hard for me. I mean, I understand how fun it is.
Cringe.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Well, that's what someone what they. But what I love is they got the formula right.
Oh, totally.
It's not about doing something to an innocent.
Right. It's each other. They're
It's
busting each other's balls.
and you know that. But I'm with you. It's still you kind of go, oh
God,
dude, oh God,
even internet videos of people tripping and falling. Like oh man.
No, I don't like that. See, I really don't. For whatever reason, I don't like the trip and falling, or someone getting kicked in the balls, or someone getting hit in the head. I just think, oh, that's a terrible thing. I never think.
But
that's
when it's friends
funny.
doing it on each other.
But when it's friends making another friend, like you lost the deal, right? You lost the competition, so now you have to take a lie detector test in front of your entire high school.
Oh my God, dude.
And then they ask you about, did you have a crush on
Right.
a teacher
And
that's
she's
right
there.
there? And they know if you're like to me, yeah, you cringe, but
Yeah.
at the same
No,
time,
dude, I
it's
get it.
so funny.
I totally understand the appeal. It's just hard.
But look at
Obviously,
me. I'm sitting there rubbing my hands.
I know you're
I'm rubbing my hands, going, "Oh God," because I feel it.
I know.
So it makes the tingles come alive.
I mean, how wildly popular is the show? It's like most people love to watch that. I don't know. I got a big heart, Rob.
Yeah, you do.
I got a big heart.
I know. You're always accused of that. You've always been accused of a big heart.
And I wear it on my purple sleeves of my shirt that looks like Pamela Anderson's.
I don't know if that's true. I'm talking about the shirt, or the color of the shirt. I know you wear your heart on your sleeve.
I do.
I get accused too. That's why I know. I get accused too of big heart. I
Yeah.
get accused too of caring too much. And, if I'm guilty, if that's wrong, I don't want to be right. You know what I
People
mean?
say you care too much?
Oh,
Who says that?
every day.
Claire?
Claire says it a lot. Right, Claire?
Claire, can you punch up on the internet? Does Rob Riggle care too much?
No. You don't have to. Don't search that. Don't search that. Don't.
I guess we'll get the info.
We don't.
Oh,
You can't trust.
Here comes Safari.
You can't trust the internet. You can't
Nope.
trust the internet.
Yep. Well, everything on the internet is real.
Please, Jesus.
Does Rob Riggle care too much? And the answer, I am Rob Riggle.
Yep, there it is. And it says I do. He says he does. There's something from 2018 about a movie called
He was in
Middle School, which I was in.
He was in Phi Gamma Delta.
Basically, the answer is yes. So,
Okay, well, I have a question now
Yeah.
about what I just read. When you were in your fraternity, was there hazing?
no.
I feel like that's not the truth.
Well, I guess you could look it up on the internet.
I think I will. I think I will. And what kind of hazing was it? And did you haze subsequent?
No.
I feel like it's a programmed answer.
No.
Okay. Now you're really selling it.
No.
All right. This has been Riggle's Picks. Dude, that's so good.
Gary,
Damn it.
look at your face, man. Look, everybody. That's Gary.
What would you do if you ran around with that face all the time?
I guess I'd be happy.
Hey!
Hey!
And then this. The Grumble Bunny.
That's just a lot of judgment. That's when I go, Gary, isn't that right? Claire, can we get? We need you on these too.
Yeah, we need
need your
Gary's
face
and
on-
Clary's.
We need Clary's and Gary's.
I don't know if I can provide that.
Well, we'll just steal it then.
You know what? I'm gonna snap a picture of your face and put it on a stick.
That's done. Consider that done. That's the American way.
That's what I do.
Friends, you have just experienced another classic Riggle's Pick.
I think today was informative. I think it was entertaining. I think it was engaging, and I think it was astounding to be on the internet with Joe Gatto, you, Rob Riggle, on Riggle's Picks. I'm Darren Leader. I can't tell you how much fun I had because there are no words to express it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I agree. I agree with all of the above. And if you're out there, go see Joe Gatto. You can look it up on the internet. The internet's very helpful like that.
It is, and he will build your website for $500.
I mean, if he likes you. Remember, you have to be
Yes.
screened and evaluated.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. This has been Riggle's Picks.